Elon Musk and the bootleg version of Zelda, Grimes, have split up, and with breakups comes the game of social media and who's doing better. So Grimes did the one thing that would piss off not just rich men, but the richest of men. She posted a stage photo reading Karl Marx.
No. We'll do it live! Fuck it! Do it live!
Anyone listening? Welcome to the Tentcast. Before we dive in, there are two lingering stories we should touch on. Let's start with AOC. The woman I may have a love affair with, leave me alone, I like crazy, is unfortunately back in the news and not in my DMs. AOC began weeping on the Senate floor for reasons more confusing than her vote. The Senate was voting on giving Israel an additional $1 billion for their Iron Dome, the primary defense system against Palestine. AOC switched her vote from no to present at the last minute, which is odd due to her strong stance opposing Israel. But there's something more confusing here. Why are we giving $1 billion to a foreign government when our government is literally out of money? She then resorted to posting a rant on Instagram as if her high school boyfriend just broke up with her. And with breakups, that brings us to the man carrying my entire portfolio. Elon Musk and the bootleg version of Zelda, Grimes, have split up, and with breakups comes the game of social media and who's doing better. So Grimes did the one thing that would piss off not just rich men, but the richest of men. She posted a stage photo reading Karl Marx, the most intellectual, petty subtweet we have ever seen in history. And speaking of fake Marxists, the BLM movement has gotten what they've always wanted, a George Floyd statue, which has been vandalized in NYC just 2 days after being put on display, which came to no one's surprise that has a brain. The left has began defending statues like they didn't spend all of 2020 toppling over statues of any white male. And the right, well, the political hats defended the Confederacy? Sometimes I wish they were joking. Which brings us to a man I've never seen laugh. Fauci has crawled out of his rat hole and saw that people were smiling, which means there are 2 more months of lockdowns. He's saying it is too early to tell if we will be able to visit our families for Christmas. And I'm praying he says we shouldn't, so I don't have to see mine. Speaking of evil leaders, Mr. Zuck had a bad week. His company's stock fell, the site went down, and a whistleblower, I'm doing air quotes but my arms don't work yet, came out and stated Facebook is choosing profit over safety, which is no surprise to anyone that has the mental capacity to tie their shoes. It isn't too hard to figure out that a free-to-use site is incentivized to keep people on the site longer to be shown ads, and with the only thing we have attention span for these days is calling people dumb for which box they check every 4 use, are we surprised they leave up dividing political content? Which brings us to more leaked info. Twitch had a massive data breach which resulted in a sheet of top streamers' payouts floating around. This caused Hassan to trend on Twitter. The 12 out of 10 perfect man-dime streamer that happens to be a socialist is raking in over 100K, proving once again the business model of being a socialist will beat anyone claiming to be a capitalist. If only socialists could stop streaming and help me get my arms to work.